Haiti podcast, episode 3, My Love is Unshakable, an update on Cite Soleil with Mike McCain, CEO of Healing Haiti. This is part 1, talking about Cite Soleil, and then coming later will be part 2, what's happening in Titanier and Grace Village.
Welcome to Healing Haiti podcast episode 3 with Mike McCain, CEO of Healing Haiti. On this episode, we're going to talk more about what's really been happening in Cite Soleil over the last 2 years and what now is currently happening in Titanier and our ministries there. It's a big story. There's a lot that's been happening, and it's complex. It's tragic and hopeful at the same time.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you having me on.
Sure. Tell me a bit about just about who you are, what you do.
I'm the CEO of Healing Haiti. I started going to Haiti in 2012. I just went on a mission trip. I just was a guy that went on a mission trip, and
It's a trap.
it's a trap.
We've all done it.
Yeah.
That's how we all started. It's a trap.
Yeah. I mean, my life completely changed from that trip. And I used to be an attorney. I'm no longer an attorney. I left my career as an attorney in 2016, came on full-time ministry with Healing Haiti, and was just named as CEO in April of this past year.
Yep. So we're going to kind of jump right into this. Truth be told, we're going to a little bit behind the curtain. We actually already recorded this once, but we got too far into exactly what's happening within the country of Haiti, politically, how we ended up where we're at. We did talk a bit about that in episode 1 and episode 2. And I felt like we just really needed to get to how are the people that we work with, how are our employees, how are the people we serve really kind of responding to what's happening in Haiti. And I think we'll upload all that backstory that you had into the history of the political history in the last few years on another podcast, I think. So, but let's get right into the story.
Yeah, I love Healing Haiti. I love its mission. I mean, I always have. We're about not doing for Haitians what they can do for themselves. So we've always had this heart and this belief that Haitians are super smart, they're super gifted, and they just haven't had the means, right, to develop their skills or go to school or whatever the case may be. And so our heart is to empower them to be exactly who God created them to be and give them that platform. And that's our heart, right?
Yeah, a little bit about the people that we know in Haiti is that they are self-starters.
Yeah.
And that they want to build their own business, and they don't want a handout.
No.
They truly just need a hand up, something to get them past that initial barrier so they can really thrive.
They want to work. They want to provide for their family, and they want to do it their own way, right? And I think that I've always found that to be just like, I love that about Haitians. You know, they have ideas. They have, they have the wherewithal, right? And they just do it. And so that I love that about Healing Haiti, that we see that in Haitians. We're not coming down there to do for them what they can already do. So we want to empower them, not take away from their gift to the community.
So as an organization, we're about sustainability and about dignity and about lifting people up. And so for years in Haiti, that was, well, we didn't know it at the time, but it was easy.
Yeah.
It was easy to work in Haiti. It was easy to work with the people living there. And this is how we're going to build up families and make families stronger, especially through job creation, so that you are self-sufficient, and that you aren't, that we didn't want to have anything to do with people needing us. The whole goal was to not need us,
Right.
to move beyond us as quickly as possible.
Work our way out of a job.
Absolutely. Yes. And so that's the way we worked for years. And then it was, you've seen it on the news. You've heard it in the previous podcasts. Haiti unravels in an unprecedented way over the last 2 years. This was happening during a pandemic. People were looking other directions. People were not looking to watch Haiti unravel. They were worried about themselves. We were worried about our own country, our own unraveling. And a lot of people didn't realize Haiti was spiraling.
Right.
And so they may have hit a low, the bottom, in the last month. But during those last 2 years, the first place that was unraveling, and it's always going to be the place that hits the wall the hardest, is the poorest population in the country. And what is that population?
Cite Soleil.
Yeah. And what's been happening in Cite Soleil over the last 2 years, and what is happening in there today from your point of view?
Yeah, the last 2 years, significant gang warfare in that community. Cite Soleil, and specifically Soleil 17. So that's where Hope Village is. That's the community that our ministry operates out of, has been a battle zone between two warring gangs.
And one of those is an external gang, correct?
Yeah. So one of the gangs is a gang that's it's called G9.
Mm-hmm.
They are really a conglomeration of gangs.
Mm-hmm.
So they come in and they try to take over gangs and take over those communities. And so this gang hasn't lived in Cite Soleil, but now they've entered Cite Soleil, and they're starting to try to take part of it over.
Okay. I didn't want to get too much into the political side of this, but this is what people have asked me often is, why would they want Cite Soleil? Why would a gang come into Cite Soleil to want that poorest of poor area? What's the point?
If you can control, so think about slums across the world, but we'll keep it to Haiti. You think about the slums in Haiti, hugely populous, a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at an area like Cite Soleil, and it's anywhere from, we don't know exactly what the population is, but it's between 300,000 and 400,000 people in a 2.5 square mile, 3 square mile radius.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a gang that can come in and ultimately control that population, then you control the vote. And that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
This is politics.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about Cite Soleil. They haven't looked at Cite Soleil and said, oh, gee, we want to live here.
No.
They're looking to control the vote.
Yeah. Okay, so they come in, and Cite Soleil is basically different areas are controlled by different gangs.
Well, yeah, I know where you're going with this. I
Yeah.
mean, it's hard to explain, and it's pretty fascinating. And I think, like, note to self, right? This is probably a later podcast about just specifically about
The dynamics.
the dynamics of gangs in Haiti or in
Yeah.
Cite Soleil.
Yeah.
But how many districts are there in Cite Soleil? 23, 26,
Well, at least 26.
right? 26.
Yeah.
Right. So every district has, if you will, a local gang.
Mm-hmm.
And these are neighbors. They're people that are just protecting their community.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these gangs, when we say the word gangs, it's pretty loose,
Yeah.
right?
No.
This is a group of people that have banded together that really they're almost the police of their community,
Mm-hmm.
because the reality is you see police on the outskirts of Cite Soleil,
Mm-hmm.
but police never enter into Cite Soleil. Yeah, and I mean Soleil 17, that's where Hope Village is.
Mm-hmm.
And Soleil 17 is, ultimately the GPEP gang, is in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And GPEP is, they're a powerful gang.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes a war.
Mm-hmm.
They won't give up their territory.
Mm-hmm.
And Hope Village is right smack dab in the middle of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
We're on the front lines, literally.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's that little. If you've been there and delivered water, you're outside of Hope Village, and if you're looking, directional problems. But if you're looking down towards that little ravine at the end of the road there, that's where the border used to be between two different gangs. Was the little slough that was between, our side and their side.
Correct. Yeah.
And it had been for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then that slowly started to encroach into so much so that there was a wall where we used to just park the water truck. There was a sandbag wall there for the last 2 years, and now it's a cement wall.
Right.
To protect that encroachment. Well, now talk about what it looks like in that area around Hope Village. What is the populace dealing with that live there?
Yeah, well, they're in the middle of a war zone, and so the houses around Hope Village have been torched.
Mm-hmm.
It's my understanding that around 500 homes in the area of Hope Village have been burned to the ground. When you look at Hope Village itself, it's covered in bullet holes. We've had to make some adjustments. I mean, we had to basically take our window areas and put steel over the windows. Mm-hmm. Just to protect people that were on the inside of our facilities. All of our fencing, the tin fencing around Hope Village has been torn to the ground. It's there's very little movement in Soleil 17. And as it's interesting because it's the epicenter of the gang violence in Cite Soleil. It's not just it's around an area that's really dangerous. Hope Village is in the epicenter of the fight.
Yeah, when on Haitian television, they show the church.
Yeah.
That, this is where the gang war in Cite Soleil is happening, at Hope Church. It's standing, and so talk a little bit about, it's still standing.
Yeah.
How is that possible when okay, so I'm going to back up again. We have not been to Cite Soleil for, a year and a half.
Yeah.
And honestly, none of our staff that doesn't live in Cite Soleil have been in Cite Soleil. So if you don't live there, you're not getting in because it's surrounded. Right? We're an island in the middle of Cite Soleil, completely surrounded by bandits. You're not getting in. And the epicenter of that fight is Hope Village. Explain how that is still standing. Explain how it hasn't been breached.
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Michael, I think it's only God. There's always been something special about that place.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, anybody that's delivered water in 17 and that's toured Hope Village can sense the Holy Spirit in a significant way, right? There's just something special about it, and there always has been.
Even before we took that hill down and built a church on it, when it was just a mountain of trash and a bathroom and a burial site, there was something special.
Yeah. And none of this surprises God, right? I mean, I think about a lot of things here. We can't go in.
Mm-hmm.
I personally haven't been to Haiti in a year. And so you have a lot of time to think,
mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, it's like, I've been a Christian most of my life, and I feel like I'm an all-in Christian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many times I've just, prayed like, why God? Why? I don't understand. But God knows,
Yeah.
right? And God knows what's coming up. And I think that we invested so much in that building. I mean, people thought we were crazy.
We were crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
The amount of time and investment we put into Hope Village. But I think God knew
Mm-hmm.
that this was going to be a place that was not only holy ground, but that it was going to protect a population.
That's absolutely what it is right now. It is the barrier against a tsunami.
Yeah.
Of evil.
Yeah.
The people that we've all delivered water with in that area, whose homes are gone, who we now know are, and we get images and photos from our staff that they're homeless. Yeah. So a lot of you that have been down that road, there's this soccer, not a soccer, it's a little auditorium, a cement auditorium that's on the right side as you go in, has a little band shell. We play basketball there, we play soccer there, we play instruments there. It's a homeless encampment. For people that had nothing to begin with, they lived in shanties that had dirt floors with nothing in them, that when it rained, the water went right through the roof and they were wet. Now in the rainy season, they are sleeping outside in the cement pavilion, hugely exposed to a gang war that does not stop. Normally when you go into Cite Soleil and Soleil 17, it's just action everywhere. People coming and going. It is a ghost town.
Yeah.
During the middle of the day, they'll show video, staff will send video, and there's not a soul in sight because it is a war zone. It's dangerous. There's snipers. There's I just heartbreaking for the people that we've call our friends, because they are our friends. We've spent a lot of time with the people there, more than a lot of my other good friends that I've spent more time in Cite Soleil.
Right.
That's a lot of my good friends here in Minnesota. So how does Healing Haiti go from a, again, sustainable organization in Cite Soleil with this compound that's got a clinic, a school, a church, into a refugee, a relief organization? How do we pivot when we can not even physically get in there?
Yeah, I think it's been hard,
Mm-hmm.
The decisions that we've had to make. You think you have this control, and you make these decisions, and you realize anytime you do work in Haiti, you realize I'm not in control.
No.
Right. You do what you can, and that's what we're doing right now. We're not forcing anything. We're not doing anything that we think is because here's the deal. I think what separates us from a lot of ministries in Cite Soleil is that our employees live there.
Yeah.
Right. And so, we had to close the clinic because our doctors and nurses don't live there, and it was just too dangerous to get them in and out.
Yeah, you can't get through the barrier. There's checkpoints,
right,
of the rival gang,
right.
So there's just no way to do it,
and that was hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we held on for the longest time and just realized we're not going to be able to do this right now.
Okay, let's talk about the mad respect for these doctors and nurses that don't come from Cite Soleil. A lot of them had never been to Cite Soleil, chose to work there. Where they're doctors and nurses, they can work anywhere they want to in the country. And there's a great need for nurses and doctors. They chose to work with us in Cite Soleil, and chose to go in until the very moment they could not get in there physically anymore. That's dedication that I don't think most people can even understand why you would do that. And that's their level of passion
Right.
to serve.
Well, and I think, yeah, I mean, it comes back to the place, right? Like, I don't think when the doctors and nurses first started, I think they were scared, right? I mean, they were scared. They'd never been in Cite Soleil before.
Yeah.
So then they get into this place, they experience this community, and they see the love and the joy and the passion that all of these people have, right? And they're in Hope Village, and I think they're also feeling this sense of God is with us, right? There's something special about this place, and you kind of move from this person that's fearful of this place you didn't know to wow, this is a community that I'm not just serving in. Like, I love these people. I know these people. These people are my friends. And so you become a part of the community when you're there every day. Right. And I think it was really hard for our staff to finally say, it's just too dangerous.
Yeah. You know, when Hope Clinic was first opened, it opened in a place where people would probably go their entire lives without ever seeing a doctor or ever having any sort of medication.
Right.
Their entire lives. And we did see a seismic shift within that population around Soleil 17. And really people came from outside Cite Soleil to go to our clinic, which is just
it was kind of
inconceivable. It was like,
you know, like when you're seeing people from other communities that were frankly wealthier,
yes.
and they're coming into Cite Soleil to your clinic.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. I remember this. We didn't even know what to do. Like, we should be charging these people more because this is really for Cite Soleil. They can afford more. Why are they coming to this clinic? And it was because it was just that good.
Yeah.
And everybody knew it. You know, when we first built this clinic, we brought down doctors from West Virginia to come down, and they were our experts on how to build a clinic in our classrooms, how to convert classrooms into a workable clinic. And they said, you know what, this is a better clinic than a lot of clinics we have in the States.
Yeah, I remember walking into that clinic for the first time thinking, gee, this is like any clinic I'd walk into at like a Health Partners or a Park Nicollet.
Which was the whole point when we started, was that this was going to be just as good, that we would send our own kids to this clinic without blinking an eye. Right. Because it needs to be, they deserve as good a care as anybody. Yeah. But again, so there these doctors are going into this really, really hard place and absolutely falling in love with the people, like we all have, because there are people who are just, they've got the world against them. Yeah. And yet they're amazing and resilient. It's all these words we've used for years. Resilient is the word that always comes to mind for people. It's like, how on earth do you make this work? How on earth does this work? It's because of their incredible resilience. Yeah. So where do we stand today? What are we doing as an organization in this time of need where there's no housing, there's homeless, there's open gang war, schools closed down? How are we meeting the needs the best that we can, and how are we doing that? Yeah, you do what you can, you know, and I think that's been hard. It's been hard to understand that there are things that we can't do right now. There are things that we can't do. We realized that we just couldn't operate a medical clinic anymore safely to protect our staff. You know, we didn't want to put our staff in a situation where they could be killed simply to come to work. And the same thing was true with our school. It just became too dangerous to get our teachers in and out. And, you know, our school serves more than Soleil 17. So now you're asking kids to cross lines in a gang war, right? And it just became too dangerous for our kids to move about in the community. And oh my goodness, I mean, we did it for a long time.
we were literally putting steel plates in front of our windows. We were reinforcing our walls, to protect the kids. We started to move, our church right in front of the medical clinic, so they weren't even worshiping in the sanctuary anymore. And after a certain period of time, you just have to say, all right, we're going to have to rethink how we do this for the safety of the people that we serve and for the safety of our staff.
Yeah.
And so, we do what we can. And right now we've got amazing staff that live in Cite Soleil. And I just to back up a little bit, this verse for me, it's so important. It's so important for, our ministry, and I've clung to this verse during this period of time, and it's Isaiah 54:10. It says, though the mountains move and the hills shake, my love will not be removed from you, and my covenant of peace will not be shaken. And I love this verse because, the world can shatter around you, and God is saying, my love isn't going anywhere, right? My peace is still with you. And as followers, like, we're his people, as followers of Jesus, we're ambassadors of his love. So, in my eyes, man, if this is the love that God has for us, he calls us, love God and love your people, right? So we need to love people exactly like this verse. So our love, we want it to be unshakable. So why are we still doing work in Cite Soleil? It's because of this, right? It's because we want people to see the love of Jesus. And so there are things we can do and there are things that we can't do. And so right now, what can we do? We can actually still feed people, right?
And we are.
And our kids may not be going to school, but we're able to operate our feeding center. Our staff lives fairly close, so they're able to come in, cook food, feed our elders, feed the kids that are able to come in, right? But then we're also able to help feed some people in the community. And because our staff lives there, they know who needs it most, right? We can trust them. And it's pretty amazing to watch this staff work because their love is also unshakable, and they're risking their lives. Like, we literally can't name names, but we know that there are people that are risking their lives right now in the name of Jesus to serve their community. I think I can say this with I'm 95% there.
I'll take it.
I think we're the only operational feeding center in Cite Soleil right now.
Yeah.
And
it is a humanitarian catastrophe inside that. So our water truck hasn't been able to go in.
No.
It'd have to go through gang lines to get in there. Well, our water truck would make it about 5 feet in, and then we would no longer have a water truck.
Right.
So what is the staff doing within Cite Soleil about how to get water? How do they make food without water? Where's that water come from?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to talk
So
about
I have to, so honestly, I have to be a little careful.
Yeah.
People are putting themselves in pretty dangerous situations, in order to be able to get money, to be able to go out and do the purchasing and make sure that they're getting the water and the food. And so that looks different every single week. We change things up every week just for safety purposes, and we change people up and all of that. But, we've been doing this for a long time in Haiti. And, we're just trying to figure, you just try to, okay, God, how do we do it this week?
Yeah.
And then you make it happen. And that's what it is a bunch of people that love God that are trying to figure out, all right, God, how do we make it happen this week?
Cite Soleil, Hope Village, doing amazing work under the most unfathomable circumstance.
Yeah. Because it's important to know that this isn't us.
No.
Right?
No.
Like what I'm saying right now isn't like look at us or look at what we're doing. I think what I'm trying to say here is like this could only come from God. Mm-hmm. So what's happening right now, and I think to some degree this supernatural sort of protection that's going on is God that cast this vision for this building in this particular location. And when we think about where would these people be, think about every person that you've met at Water Truck. Like think about, right, every child that you've picked up, every home that you've delivered water to, every person that you've prayed over, every little relationship that you've had. You know, I mean, a lot of people have gone into Cite Soleil multiple times, and so there's your people, right, in Cite Soleil. Like every time you go in, you're looking forward to seeing that person. I don't think that those people would be there. And I think that that's how important this facility is right now, because I think that facility is the difference between them there and not there.
Yeah, so we did get from one of our staff members this summer, and we'll share this online in the upcoming week, is pictures and video of the homeless encampment at the pavilion that's like literal stone's throw from Hope Village. And the first thing I did was go through that video and see if I could recognize anybody in the video, and I recognized almost everybody in that video.
That was a hard one.
Oh gosh, it was shocking. So we continually have discussions about how can we serve these people? How can we keep them safe by serving them? And how can we keep our staff safe? Trust us when we say we're doing the best that we can as advising, but trust me when I say that the staff in Cite Soleil is doing outstanding work.
Wow. Amazing people doing amazing work. And, you know, if you hear this, if you're listening right now, pray over these people, right? Because they need it. They need a hedge of protection over them to do what they do every single day.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a heavy discussion, and honestly, we talked about doing this the first podcast, and I thought nobody would ever listen to podcast number 2 because they just can't take it. This is just too much. But I felt like we really needed to be real about the struggle. Nonprofit work and our staff in Haiti, it's not easy work. The people who live in Haiti are struggling, and they feel like nobody hears them. So we need to tell the story. But what do the people listening to this podcast do with this information? Like, I never want to burden people with hard stories with nowhere to go with it. Like, what do I do with this heaviness? What do people do with this? That's a big question. I'm sorry. I sprung this on you.
No, that's okay. First, you pray. You know, if you're hearing this right now, the people of Haiti need your prayers. We need your prayers as an organization, because we're still there. You know, we're a ministry of presence, and we're going through some hard times. So pray. We don't want you to lose hope. We don't want you to think that this is a hopeless situation. You know, part of why we're doing this is because our brothers and sisters in Haiti, they have a voice. You know, they have a voice, and we need to give them a platform so people can hear what's going on. And so a lot of what you're hearing right now is, it's not necessarily our voice. We just feel this, like God has put it on our heart to tell the story and tell the world about what's happening. And it may be hard to listen to, but it's a reality that people need to hear. And we don't want you to be hopeless in that. We want your eyes to be opened. And our prayer would be, we're not going to tell you what to do, right? But my prayer would be that the Lord would put something on your heart,
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, yeah.
Like, and he'll tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Is it to give? Please. Like, we need financial support so we can continue to do the ministry that we're doing right now. Is it to step in some way? Do you have a talent? Do you have, some sort of expertise, that you think could help the ministry? Jump in, give us a call. Let us know that there is a way for you to get plugged in. And is it to tell others?
Yeah.
Do we need to get the story out there that, hey, something's happening in Haiti and people need to hear about it? That's another, I think, opportunity to tell this story and to remind people that they love life and they are just looking for an opportunity. There's nothing like the Haitian spirit, and they're incredible people.
Yeah. I knew this was going to be a long one, but it's an important one.
Yeah.
So that's been Cite Soleil over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And then this whole time we're like, oh, but Titanier, that whole area, it's just outside of the problem area. The gangs aren't there, and we're, our ministries are just going like gangbusters. Everything's working out great until 2.5 weeks ago. What happened?
That's the end of part 1, talking specifically about Cite Soleil. Stay tuned for part 2, where we talk about Titanier and Grace Village, dropping in a week. Thanks for listening.
To learn more about the ongoing work of Healing Haiti, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, or visit us at healinghaiti.org.
Alinima kuma